This is just a dumb little story about how some friends of mine and I made a little extra money when we were in the Air Force. But you have to watch the stupid animation first. Enjoy. In the early 1970s, I was a sergeant in the Air Force, stationed at Kirtland Air Force Base. A sergeant back then was 3 stripes, now 3 stripes. They've renamed it as senior airman. I like sergeant better. The story I'm going to tell you about how we made a little extra money involves skiing. New Mexico is a big skiing state, so let me take you through it a little bit before I get to the story. New Mexico is a great state with a lot of nice people, but the part I'm going to talk to you about is that red line up in the top part of the state. Now, Albuquerque is west of the Sandia Mountains, and there's a ski area called Sandia Peak, about 33 miles from Albuquerque. There's another way up the mountain. There's a tram about 15 miles from Albuquerque, or from the base rather, that goes up the west side of the mountain and gets you up to a restaurant and the top of the ski slopes. About 75 miles north of Albuquerque is Santa Fe, the state capital with its own ski area. 75 miles north of that is Taos, an artist community with a big ski area. So now that I'm done with the travelogue, let's talk about the job and the money. There was a man who worked in an office down the hall from my office. And he came down and asked me if I was busy one night in December of '71. And he asked me if I wanted to make a little money. Well, asking a lowly paid guy in the Air Force if he wants to make a little money is a dumb question. He asked me if I can get 4 friends who want to make a little money too. And I asked him what we'd have to do for it. He said, well, it's like this. Hertz has a counter up at the Taos ski area, and it's, people who change their plans or they want to go sightseeing or something will rent a car. But sometimes people will go from Albuquerque up to Taos in a rent-a-car and then leave it there. They'll join up with somebody else, make alternate travel plans. And if that place up at the ski valley gets too many cars, they have to get back to the airport. So we were going to drive up to Taos 3 hours, pick up the cars, and drive back 3 hours. And for that, we'd make $10. It turned into a 7-hour trip with, delays and all. But we made $10 for a 7-hour trip. For those of you who are too young, if anyone's watching, to understand why people would work 7 hours for $10, remember that with inflation, that $10 now is $75. Inflation is 750% from 1971 to now. And that's why your grandparents get upset about the price of things. Now, I'm afraid 53 years later, I don't remember that man's name, but I'm going to call him Fred for the rest of this just to make it easy. Around 5:30 that night, he showed up in a big 70s kind of station wagon that Hertz lends him to take people up to Taos to bring the cars back. And we got in the car and left. Pretty cool animation, huh? So that winter we made, 3 or 4 more trips like that, and started the next year, 72, 73 winter, doing the same thing. Made a couple of trips until one night, Fred, remember Fred, said he couldn't go. And he needed 6 cars brought down, so he said that I should get 6 of my friends, and he gave me the keys to the station wagon, and I was going to be the round-trip driver. That's when I found out that the driver of the station wagon makes $15 instead of $10. That's like $113 today. I turned the camera around so you could see other parts of my fine studio. I think I only did 1 trip as the round-trip driver on the road to Taos. And that trip's memorable for 3 reasons, all of them for one guy, and I'll talk about those. We loaded up all 7 of us in the station wagon. There were 2 of us in the front, 3 in the middle seat, and 2 in the little jump seat in the back. Old station wagons had a jump seat in the back that faced the rear, so you could see where you've been, but not where you're going. Now, the first problem happened when the guy who was in the middle seat of the middle row decided somewhere north of Santa Fe that nature was calling. And I don't know if it was just I was young and stupid, or if the shoulder had too much snow and I didn't want to stop, but a plan was figured out, and he shuffled to the back row and the guy in the back row shuffled to the front, and I lowered the back window into the tailgate, and he stood up on the seat holding on to the luggage rack on the top of the roof. And well, anyway, I don't think anybody noticed. Well, we got to Taos, but we couldn't see the cars. We did see 6 snowdrifts in kind of the shape of cars, so all 7 of us attacked the first one and got it all shoveled out within just a couple of minutes. So we went to the second car. That's when we realized that Mr. Tiny Bladder took off without us, figuring, well, we dug his car out for him. We learned from Fred on previous trips that if you drive in a convoy on empty roads, the police are less likely to be bothered by you not reading the speed limit sign exactly right. Well, we all dug out the rest of the cars, and somewhere north of Santa Fe, we saw this on the side of the road. The funny thing is, he thought Hertz should pay his speeding ticket. They didn't, and he didn't make any more trips. Well, if you clicked on this expecting something really entertaining and insightful, I'm sorry. But I did tell you they'd be stupid, and I can't promise to do any better on the next one. But I'll keep trying. I'm just having fun.